Hello, folks. Welcome to the Scumdogs Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams, and we're going to be looking at, the show we're going to have tonight is going to be about UFO and alien horror stories. Creepy stories that talk about how aliens are not exactly the nicest guys around. So we're going to be looking at that. But first, let me show off some artwork from my own upcoming graphic novel, Scumdogs. We're going to be looking at that. But first, let me show off some artwork from my own upcoming graphic novels. There, got that up. Make sure that. Let me go to share screen, and here we go. Let's see. Here's my extreme 90s cover. This cover I did to harken back to the comic books of the 90s. Looks pretty good, huh? Now, the name of my graphic novel is Scumdogs. It's a parody book. I parody cartoons we all know and love and stuff like that. Now, the Scumdogs themselves, well, in the future, there's such a thing known as the Scumdogs Sports. The Scumdogs Sports is sporting events held with superhuman monsters as the athletes. Say these athletes turn themselves into monsters, and they're called Scumdogs for it because they do it for money. They're scum and dogs. They do it to get money and stuff like that, to be famous and rich. So you get the idea. But what happens when these guys get banned from sports? Well, they decide to take over the world. So not exactly the nicest bunch of guys and stuff. So you get the idea. Think of rich people we have today. Now give them superpowers, and yeah, they'd be supervillains. Now, Death Mug is the purple guy with the metal mask, and he's fighting his arch enemy Buick Starpoon. You can see it right here. Buick Starpoon is the guy with the pink pompadour hair. Death Mug is a combination of various villains from 80s cartoons. He's an arrogant, overblown, egomaniacal dictator who wants to rule the universe. While his archenemy Buick Starpoon is your typical arrogant, overblown military guy who basically can't stand Buick's Death Mug because his ego is as big as his is, so they naturally hate each other's guts. Now, Death Mug has aspects, as I said, of villains from 80s cartoons. He looks like the villains from G.I. Joe, the leaders of Cobra. Like Cobra Commander, he's got a silver mask. Like Serpentor, he's got gold on him. And he's purple, like the Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. While Buick Starpoon, he's a G.I. Joe parody, mostly of Duke from G.I. Joe. Yeah, and he's also a parody of the space hero kind of character, like Buzz Lightyear or Captain Kirk from Star Trek. Or, Buck Rogers, those kinds of heroes. You can just see it in the uniform he's wearing. Now, he's also a G.I. Joe parody. In fact, everyone in his team in the Space Forces is a G.I. Joe parody, and they have a military specialty. Buick Starpoon's military specialty is that he's a captain, and anyone wearing a similar uniform with him on this cover is part of his team in the Space Forces. The guy over here with the mohawk, his name is Roadhog. His military specialty is that he's an army guy. That was what he did before he joined up with the Space Forces. While this bald guy with a gun down here in his uniform, his name is Beach Pounder. He's a Marine. His military specialty is that he's just a Marine. While this guy back here in the red uniform driving that vehicle, his name is Blast Tank. His military specialty is that he's a heavy vehicle specialist, a tanker. Now, this cover is one of 3 different variant covers you'll be able to back when my Indiegogo goes live, so you have that to look forward to. Looks pretty good, huh? All right. Here's Girl Friday. Girl Friday is the second command to the Wild Rangers. That's the name of Buick Starpoon's team in the Space Forces. She was assigned as Buick Starpoon's second in command to help him lead the team because while the Wild Rangers fight the Scumdogs and save the universe, they're just highly destructive idiots. By the way, folks, hit that like button for me because it helps me fight the algorithm, okay? As well as please share this video on social media and stuff, as well as hit that bell. Hit that bell and hit the part of the bell that gives you all future notifications for my videos, and please share this video out on Twitter and Facebook. Looks pretty good, huh? Girl Friday was assigned to the Wild Rangers as Buick Starpoon's second in command because the Wild Rangers, while they do save the day from the Scumdogs, they're just highly destructive idiots. So to head off any criticism from the public, they assigned Girl Friday to basically be a babysitter in second command to the Wild Rangers, and to basically make them do, or at least try to head off any real damage they would do to the public and stuff like that and stuff. And she hates her job. Girl Friday hates Buick Starpoon because she thinks her career in the military is over and that she's just, well, she's just nothing now. And now we're going to look at Buick Starpoon. Well, we're going to look at Death Mug's henchman. Because in all 80s cartoons, the main villain of the cartoon would have henchmen. And, these are my henchmen. The blue guy with the top hat is Murder Mouth. And the pink guy down here is Sloppy. They're a couple of idiots. They're a parody of every henchman from an 80s cartoon. They can't possibly do anything right, and they destroy everything they touch. They're going to be hilarious when you read about them in my graphic novel, which is currently, still being made, but look out for it when it goes live on Indiegogo. Here we have Hair Metal Doctor. Looks pretty good. Now, before I do anything else, maybe I would like to go over here real quick. Do this, maybe share this video out on Twitter and stuff. Let me do this real quick before we continue onward. Let me let's see. UFO. Oops. Stream. Use the link. All right. Hashtag Comicsgate. Whoops. Do this, paste, and voila. Just to get that up there so more people can see my video. Maybe go to profile and stuff like that. Yeah. Remember, folks, if you want to see this stream, go to my, if you're not watching it already, use the link on my profile to get to the stream and stuff. Yeah. All right, let me go over here. Just wanted to do that real quick. Let's see. Hair Metal Doctor. Hair Metal Doctor is a parody of Dr. Mindbender from G.I. Joe. He's a mad scientist. But my mad scientist here's been crossed over with a hair metal musician. I thought that'd be awesome to have as a villain. He thinks of all the mad gadgets and machines the scumdogs use to try to take over the universe. Come read about him in my graphic novel when it goes live on Indiegogo. It's not live yet, folks. All right. And here we have Miss Breasty Melon. We have Miss Breasty Melons here. She's a parody of the Baroness from G.I. Joe. But unlike the Baroness, she's a party girl. She only joined up with the scumdogs to have a fun time because she thought being a villain would be great. It's Miss Breasty Melons. Now, the Hair Metal Doctor pinup and the Miss Breasty Melons pinup will be included with other pinups in my graphic novel when you go back it on Indiegogo. It's still not live yet, folks, but it's coming. But I will also get these pinups out to you with other pinups on T-shirts from Crypto Fashion as soon as I'm able to make them. So look out for those as well. Now we look at these. Let me exit out of this right here and stuff. And let's go let some fun. Now, I said I look at alien horror stories. People who've encountered aliens but didn't have a fun time with it and stuff like that. So that's going to be great tonight. We're going to have some fun. Let's see. Have you guys hit that like button for me? Ooh, yeah, you have. Now, before we do any of that, though, maybe we'll look at, feel free to leave me a few chats. We'll look at Indiegogos real quick. GH57 double stars now finding through in demand has made 1,265. That's pretty good. Downcast 3 has made 21,317. That's also good. Let's see. Tales from Neuroverse, second wave of books, 644. Not too bad. It's been fully funded. Octopus Cowboy 1 has made 1,735. So look at this, folks. Maybe real quick. Not bad. You can back it for Westworld. You can back a physical copy of the book for $25. You have a choice of several different covers. All of them look pretty good. And ugly. Not bad. Several different covers. That looks pretty good. Maybe I'll come back to this later. I just wanted to take a quick look there. You have the Zombiful World of Oz, which has made $975. It's 1, 2, and 3 issues all together. Gunship Thunder Punch 2 has made 24,600. That's pretty damn good there. Alien Alamos made $85,000, and that's also good. The Rascals has made $852. The Rascals Book 2, Song of the Banshee, that's good. Not doing too bad there. Just take a quick look at this. Sunsworn has made 12,160. We have Mercury Mouse, issues 1 and 2, 1, 2, and 3, has made for $31. Black Tiger Volume 1 has made 5,353, 9 days left. War Party has made 38,000. Lilith Series Book 3 has made 119, got 19 days left. Ooh, Creed Reimaginary 1 and 2 has made 111,252. 499 has made 85,900. Work the Wizard, The Portal of Echoes has made 11,575. So that's pretty good with what's going on there. Now, let's go look at some alien horror stories, huh? Feel free to leave me a few chats as well as hit that like button for me. As well as please go, right. From a famous UFO case to a wild man beast. Right. More on the UFO paranormal issue. Controversial UFO movie turns 25. Sinister Skies, Strange Cases of UFO Attacks. Okay, let's go with this one. UFOs to horror. Maybe we'll look at this one. I think this might be just about a movie. UFOs and horror have always gone hand in hand in Hollywood ever since 1951 when The Thing from Another World terrified cinema goers with its giant humanoid vegetable monster. Audiences have reveled in the repulsion of silver screen aliens, but while the majority of Hollywood's ETs are invasive, not all are explicitly horrific or soul-chillingly scary. The popularization of abduction mythology in the late 1980s and early 90s gave Hollywood a rich new vein to tap, one that lent itself naturally to the horror genre, helpless victims being snatched from their family surroundings in the dead of night by stealthy non-human entities, and is horror that writes itself. The Hollywood attempts to really Stubbers Communion and Bud Hopkins Intruders 1989 and 1992 respectively represent the industry's first attempts to engage seriously with the abduction phenomenon and its full spectrum weirdness as reported by experiences of real life does not conform to this genre, so Communion and Intruders came in a mixture of shades. Sci-fi horror, family drama, but above all else, they were existential stories. Unfortunately, such genre-defined products didn't sit well with studio bosses, who wanted easy-to-package narratives for increasingly dumbed-down audiences. Are you sure they're so dumbed down? They don't even believe in this stuff, and that's the thing there. Hollywood simplified its approach to the abduction in 1993, Fire in the Sky, the big screen adaptation of Travis Walton's famous true-life account of alien abduction in Arizona, 1975. Tracy Thoms' screenplay was a reasonably faithful accounting of the Waltons' experience until its final act, which notoriously distorts Walton's encounter out of all recognition. The Nordic beings described by Travis walk about with him in a spaceport where nowhere where to be seen in the movie. Walton's skittish grays were replaced with frightful goblin-like, aliens who literally drag the logger like a sack of spuds through their pinions-running spaceship. Yep. All dank tunnels and dripping embryonic sacs before gluing him to a table with a suffocating membrane, subjecting him to graphic torture with a thick needle to the eyeball. It remains a horrific sequence so powerful as to erase almost all memory of the events that preceded. In fairness to the screenwriter, Tom's head was forced away from the world of Walton's accounts by jury studio executives at Paramount who had threatened to pull the plug on the movie if radical changes weren't made. Walton himself agreed to these changes, but albeit reluctantly. This marked the point in time when alien abduction truly entered the horror genre. Hollywood has never looked back because they can't do anything else. Our four distinctly ufological films are even more recent years which have exploited the abduction phenomenon to a horrific effect. The Fourth Kind, 2009. There's that and stuff like that. Dark Skies, 2013. Alien Abduction, 2014. Extraterrestrial, 2014. So you can see they're basically just a heads up about horror movies and stuff like that and how they're basically just, these aren't even real stories about aliens and stuff like that. I could read them on and stuff like that, but we came here for real alien horror stories. And we already covered Walton and stuff like that. Let's see. Maybe we'll come back to this later on. But so let's do this. Sinister Skies. Cases of UFO attacks. Well, or maybe I should say sinister. Well, or rather, what, or maybe unsinister skies, or maybe just skies. Strange cases of UFO attacks. Let's get into this. Stories of alien invasion have been a staple of science fiction for years, and the idea that advanced civilizations would come across the sea of stars to our world to wage war with advanced weaponry beyond our imaginations and enthralled generations. Yet, could this ever happen for real? If some bizarre accounts from around the world are to be believed, it already has, at least to some extent. Every once in a while, from the landscape of UFO strangers looms an account that seems to suggest that aliens are not only here, but they are not necessarily friendly. Here, we will look at harrowing reports and see footage of UFOs attacking, even killing, to show that people, or perhaps of alien invasion UFO attacks, have stepped out from beyond the confines of pure fiction. There's a good chance these are all rigged accounts as well, done by the government to basically make people hate aliens. So remember that and take these accounts with a grain of salt. Because not all of them are probably real, but don't think that aliens are friendly creatures either. We don't know what these creatures are. 77, an investigation known as the Operation Saucer was launched to look into a series of incidents reported from Brazil of colorless. Locals of the area claimed that there were numerous instances of bright objects. Sorry if I sorry about that and stuff like that, folks. If I have trouble and stuff with this. Bright objects of varying sizes and colors that were buzzing low over the top of the trees and shooting beams of bright light upon helpless people on the ground. These beams of light were reported to inflict a good amount of damage on those of the receiving end, including puncture marks, burns, and lesions and cuts. And those who claimed to have been struck by the mysterious weapons reported that being hit by the light felt like a heavy weight roughly pushed against their chest. The beams of light were described as being around 7 or 8 centimeters in diameter, pure white in color, and while was said that when they hit the victim would try to scream, but that no sound would come out. Now, aliens coming here to invade might not actually be what's happening. They could just be here just to, experiment on us. They don't care about our planet or anything like that. Maybe they're just interested in experimenting on our race because we're here on this planet. So you got to remember that as well. The beams were described as feeling very intensely. Victims would try to scream, but no. The beams were described, feeling intensely hot like a cigarette being pressed into the flesh. Many of the victims of these light beam attacks were said to experience intense reddening of the skin, akin to radiation injuries, and were said to lose their hair and exhibit an increasingly blackening the skin over time. Those rampaging flying saucers were known to the locals. Chupa chupa. Sucker. And panic began to mount, with many people moving away from the area altogether in order to escape the otherworldly onslaught. In some cases, the occupants of the UFOs were actually seen, and they were described as being diminutive creatures, about around 3 feet in height. The Brazilian Air Force, was called into Brazil was called in to investigate just what was going on, and Operation Saucer was instigated. The investigation would allegedly culminate in 2000. By the way, folks, if I don't pronounce all the words here, it's because I probably don't want to mispronounce them, okay? I don't want to do that and stuff. So if I skip a word, it's only because I probably can't pronounce it. Allegedly 2,000-page report featuring an eyewitness testimony, around 500 photographs, and 16 hours of footage, purportedly documenting the phenomenon. Over the course of the investigation, it is claimed that several military personnel had nervous breakdowns or displayed a variety of mental issues. The whole investigation was apparently kept top secret until some pages were released in 2004. If you're wondering what we're doing, we're looking at UFO and alien horror stories, real stories of people having harrowing accounts with aliens. Despite all of this, the military was hesitant to attribute the phenomenon to aliens or UFOs, leading to a large amount of speculation. Some seem to think that it was the case of an area being used as a test ground for experimental aircraft. Others remain adamant that it was indeed aliens of some other non-human entities. One of the doctors who examined many of the patients suffering from the alien attacks, this doctor later claimed that she had strongly encouraged by officials to downplay the injuries and chalk it up to hallucinations. She even claims that she saw one of the UFOs herself, describing as being a bright cone-shaped or cylindrical object. What do you think, folks? These horror stories, people encountering aliens and basically having injuries. It would later become apparent from accounts by none other than Captain Urange, this captain here, the commander of the whole operation, that many of the men in the case had gone insane, been overcome with a thick, uncontrollable fear. He also revealed that some eyewitness reported coming to face, seeing beings which wore some form of protective clothing and shot-colored beams. There were many reports that also spoke of UFOs emerging from the depths of the sea during the time, perhaps suggesting they were based underwater. The captain here would allegedly be found dead in his home under mysterious circumstances not long after making these claims. It was Brazil, claimed as the scene of an attack from another world. Just what is going on here? Other than the sheer movie-like quality of the whole thing, some elements seem rather odd, such as the fact that it seems strange that these attacks were indeed the result. Could very well be that these were done by the government themselves, maybe our government or some other one, who are trying to stage a fake alien invasion to basically stir up resentment towards aliens, saying that aliens are evil and that they're here to invade us. Because as you read on, result of indeed there was that strange that these attacks were the result of advanced technology, that they should only burn the skin, of course, other non-life-threatening injuries. Why wouldn't such advanced weaponry do more damage? Nevertheless, just what was going on will remain, mystery. Oh, they could do far worse, but not if the aliens were here basically to do an experiment on us. That sounds like what they were doing. Another incredible purported series of UFO attacks was reported in various news sources, radio broadcasts in 2002 from small rural area, Lucknow, India. News was, it was sensational, to say the least, seemingly of a area, sensational to say the least, seemingly of a tabloid variety, although it was covered in reputable news outlets. One newspaper called the Victoria Advocate, published a rather dramatic headline on August 20th, 2002, with a headline that read, "UFOs are attacking and causing unrest in India," accompanied by a photo of a man who had sustained several facial injuries. It sums up nicely the amazing bizarreness of the whole incident and is a very strange tale to be sure. It could also be that this is more propaganda by the government to say that aliens are evil, but don't think that aliens are good either. You need to get to the bottom of these kinds of stories to actually know what's going on. All right. At around the end of 2002, a massive influx, sightings began to pour in from villagers in the rural area of The sightings seemed to describe two distinct types of UFOs: smaller craft shaped like balls or discs, which darted about and had flashing lights, and a massive, slow-moving insect-shaped craft. The big one was purportedly so enormous that it could be seen by villagers as far as 15 miles away. It was surmised by UFO enthusiasts at the time that this large craft was perhaps the mothership from which the smaller ones emerged. These sightings continued for a few days, causing a bit of panic, but not much incident, but then the attacks began. According to reports, the smaller craft began shooting laser-like beams at people, which usually struck the face to leave nasty burns, earning the UFOs the nickname or face burner. Although the other parts of the body were targeted. Okay. As I said, this sounds like something the government did to basically stir up resentment towards aliens and stuff like that. Targeted as well as in one case, a man was allegedly struck in the stomach by such a beam and reportedly died several days later. Years later, of his injuries. And in another case, a woman sustained serious burns to her forearms. In addition to the attack, 20 people reportedly mysteriously vanished without a trace in the vicinity and apparently have not been heard from since. Total, 7 people reportedly died of these attacks. And the situation got so severe that threatened villagers gathered in front of police stations demanding that something be done. Of course, the authorities were skeptical, and even when shown injuries from the alleged attacks and photos and video footage of the ominous craft, they were not convinced. Villagers ended up organizing squads of armed men to patrol the area after dark on the look out for marine UFOs. There were apparently quite a few videos taken of the craft, including one taken by a district judge that shows the enormous insect-shaped mothership. Some of the footage taken of these crafts can be seen here, although there are numerous other photos and clips. If you look around, what's going on here? All just hoaxers and mass hysteria. What was what was there some sinister alien force? Yeah, it was there, or what was it? Look at that. All right. It is hard to tell if some of these surreal reports are hoaxes or not, although many of these sorts of videos must. Magnetic vortex. Unfortunately, there are so many conspiracies to keep up this vital information out of the public domain that what ends up in the hands of the public is diluted point of uselessness. Yep, that is quite true. But we can tell you this much, and I know that. The government really has no idea what these things are. No one has any idea. They could be anything. We all but people do know is that these things do happen. UFOs do exist. They don't know if they're aliens or from somewhere on Earth, but they do know they exist. They can't hide that much, not anymore. Can they hide this? Could they hide it anymore? I mean, over the last year, there's been numerous new UFO sightings that have been ranging from all over the planet, so probably I have my problems with that. Let's see. For as long as there has been a media government, topic has met with skepticism and ridicule. How funny how the media can change the opinions masses within days. Yes and no, but then again, that was when the media was the only thing in town. There's still the internet, and people tend to talk with each other on that and tend to look at more and basically be more trusting of something going on in the internet than they do of what's going on in the media nowadays. Even though it's on the internet. Well, that's the funny thing. The internet itself is more reliable than the media. Let's see. In our case of UFOs allegedly attacking and destroying bases of both. It's hard to tell whether these real reports are hoaxes, though many of these sorts of videos most certainly are in the Middle East. Have been numerous reports allegedly attacking and destroying bases of both the Taliban, and other terrorists. Various videos presented as evidence. One piece of footage that made heavy rounds in the internet is, let's see this chat here. I can confirm, yes, UFOs are real. Some are property we own, and some are off-world devices. Most of what is witnessed is ours, but the general population will never have the complete truth. Complete truth, it depends on your definition of truth. If you say that they're basically promoting their narrative that the aliens are evil and want to take over our planet, that much they will do. Complete truth, as I said, depends and stuff like that. The aliens come here and basically say that and give us and tell us what they know about this stuff and what they're here for and stuff like that, and basically maybe purposely make our own governments look bad, and basically just show that there's nothing our governments can do to stop them if they so wish to come here, and basically actually say that our governments are doing bad. We might at first fear them, but if they prove themselves to basically be invincible to anything we can do to them, and basically say that we should basically take what our government is saying about them with a grain of salt. Well, if they come here and do that, maybe more people would believe them, as long as they're basically open about it and stuff like that. It'd still be horrifying at first, as long as they don't maybe do anything truly destructive. But maybe they should do something destructive, like destroy our governments or something, because I don't really sometimes like our officials. Let's see. Here's another one. Life exists all around us, visited all the time, and the civilian space program has found all kinds of things on the moon to indicate civilizations. That's true as well. Or rather, yeah. That's there's life all around us. Yep, that's true, I think. As well as things we can't even begin to describe. So there's that. Now, let me get back to this. ISIS in recent days, heavy frowns of the internet. Yeah, let me get back to this article. Okay, another chat. True worldly power never ever reveals itself. Always stays hidden from view. You think you see it, hear it, feel it, then it's not real power. You think you hear it, see it, feel it, it's not true power. Yeah, that's the thing about our government. That they try to promote that idea. They try to show that they're so strong and powerful. They have no real power, I think. Especially when it comes to creatures like what could actually exist out there. This abiding modus operandus allows true worldly power to stay in the ascendant position as well as continue to equate. Yeah, I know, basically doing that stuff. But then again, you got to understand the guys who do that, they have no real power themselves. You got to understand they are frightened of, people on the street, people who are free will and stuff like that, people they can't control, as well as creatures they can't control. They're the people who stay hidden and try to say that they have power and stuff like that. At least they try to stay hidden, trying to create more and more power. Now, those guys might be the ones who basically the world are like our world leaders. They try to promote the idea that they're all powerful, but also try to stay hidden and basically say that that the current paradigm of our society is the correct one and stuff like that. Basically promoting all these policies and stuff like that. Like you see, like taking over countries if they become a problem, or just basically looking for resources. You can understand those guys have no real power themselves. The only power they have is because they try to stay hidden. But they're frightened shitless. They're frightened shitless of regular people. They're frightened of people fighting back. They're also frightened of things they can't control, like these UFOs or creatures that they have no control over at all. In reality, these guys have power, but no real power. The power they have is what we give them. And if they truly came up against something truly powerful, truly beyond their control, they would frighten and fall. Let's see. Always stays hidden from view. So it allows a sin position as well to continue to acquire. Yeah, there's that as well. Once upon a time in the United States military, and I have not only seen alien spaceships, UFOs, but was in one. My NDA has expired. I'm disclosing everything soon. That's good. Magnetic vortex resonance. My story will make Bob Lazar sound elementary. That's also very good. Thank you. Phil, would you like to share your story on here, or say some? I could leave a link for you to come out and talk about it. Let's see. Varieties of videos presented and evidence that made rounds on the internet showing some disc-shaped craft hovering over camps before completely obliterating the terror. Taking out the terrorists, obliterating it with some sort of laser weapon. Although it was very exciting and rather ominous video, very gritty and realistic feel to it, it almost certainly fake. You can see it here. However, there are many other such videos that seem to suggest a strong and very aggressive UFO presence in the area. Another one showing a UFO attacking an ISIS stronghold, which you can see here. Again, this is most probably fake, but intriguing nevertheless. And another apparent Middle East UFO attack, a large comet-like object is seen striking across the sky in southeastern, in some area in Turkey, near an ISIS base. The object, Turkey. The object then suddenly explodes into a bright flash of light. Let's see this here. Here's some more chats. Many homeless transients, illegal immigrants, used to test fly exotic recovered ET craft. The results have mostly been disastrous. Yeah, I have to say so. Yeah. But then again, they were used as those guys were just used. But yeah, we'll probably have such craft, and they probably are being tested. All right. Another apparent Middle East, thing, a large comet-like object was seen striking across the sky in southeastern, like that. Then, suddenly explodes in a bright flash of light and rain of debris, although authorities later claimed that no debris could be found in the vicinity. Made a statement that it was a natural phenomenon. The whole incident was captured on video camera, and it is clear that if this is just a comet or a UFO crash or an attack of some kind. You can see some kind of A crash or an attack of some kind. There are actually a surprising amount of such pieces of footage floating around allegedly showing UFOs attacking and stuff terrorists, and it is sometimes difficult to ascertain the authenticity. All right, there's some more chats. Give a terrorist a knife. Yeah, and someone's getting attacked. And so give one club a club and someone's getting a club. Give a UFO and they would destroy the earth. Yeah, they probably would. Yeah. As long as people are evil, they can never be allowed to have power, space, and time and matter. There's that as well, but I have to say that. But don't worry, there are ways to counteract people with that kind of power, and that's basically going in and basically stopping them. Unless, of course, you chip and track every man, woman, child on the starting to get the unless you, of course, you chip and track. I seriously doubt they'll ever be able to do that. People will rebel and not allow themselves to be chipped. Magnetic vortex resonance. Even then, you will have men over you, admiring you as gods. That will fail miserably because I can know a war that will start and stuff like that over that. We'll fight back. Take it from someone who really knows fully well gravitational time dilators, temporary transversible wormholes, Planck portals. Don't expect complete ET disclosure because it would cause mass collapse of the wave function before the point in time. What they're going to do is say that they don't know what these creatures are, only that they actually exist. Not that they're extraterrestrial, only the fact that this phenomenon is real. That's what they're going to start off with. And, well, from there, things might get very, very bad. Or very, very leaning towards things that would be basically take this planet in another direction. Maybe not a good one, with them basically saying that these aliens are bad. But then again, a lot of people say that these aliens are good. I have my doubts that these aliens are actually all that good, but I don't think they're actually here to basically, that they're actually bad either. It's probably like this. There are good aliens and there are bad aliens, just like there are good and bad people. Either way, I wouldn't mind if aliens attacked, or rather just made the powers that be of the human race, or world leaders, and basically strip them of their power. They could basically, with their advanced technology, basically make it so that none of our technology could work, and they could basically either strip the guys in power of their abilities to try and command, or basically just maybe, I don't know, lobotomize them. And then get other world leaders to take their place and just say, make this planet work, or we'll make your world, well, we'll make the world leaders' lives bad to the point where they can just say, well, keep making your lives miserable unless you make this entire planet better. We want to attack regular people, we'll just make the world leaders' lives miserable. Just basically hounding our world leaders till they make this world a better place. There are some within the, let's see this right here. There are some within the military government, ultra-secret networks, such that know parts of the whole, but they don't understand the whole. There's that, like that. I don't think the world leaders know anything about the entire whole thing, except maybe the whole thing, if you talk about their conspiracy and stuff like that, the actual shadow government, stuff like that, they know what they're doing, but they're also scared shitless of the public, as well as the creatures they can't, as well as regular people they can't control. And one man could rise up and to basically inspire people. They're terrified of that. They're also frightened of the actual aliens, or rather paranormal creatures that actually exist that they can't possibly control as well. Let's see. They aren't equipped with the knowledge to stand before the media to explain. They fear that they would be made to appear feeble by the fact that they only know pieces of what's going on. That's true, but that's basically what's happening anyway. They're only going to say that they know these things exist. They have no control over them. And that alone is, well, they can no longer hide the truth of that. They might have the technology and stuff like that, but they still have no way to control people or even any of these creatures, and never will. Let's look at this. The black budget world is, well, at least 250 years ahead of anything publicly available. There is that as well. But there's still light years behind any of the actual aliens, I think, or supernatural creatures. When a brilliant mind thought in their brain magical insights that is world-changing, the black budget would already know we have technology at that level of spyware. Let that sink in. There's that. Yeah, I've heard of that before as well. But as I said, as much power as humans have, there's actually nothing they have that compares to actually what is out there. The actual creatures, and this could actually be with regular humans too, if there's such a thing as a breakaway civilization on Earth, who live under the Earth, who are human but have more advanced technology, but have no real relation to any of the world governments or their shadow things like that. The technology these guys could actually have is so far beyond anything of the guys who actually in part of the shadow government have. It's unbelievable. We might have something that can basically do some of this stuff that we've seen in the skies, but the actual aliens are the actual paranormal stuff that can exist is beyond anything we know or comprehend. Here's another chat from Magnetic Vortex Resonance. The most powerful people on the planet and in the United States in the field of commerce, manufacturing, and technology are afraid of something. Yep. As I said, they're afraid of things that cannot control. They're afraid of things that cannot control, both people and creatures that are not human. They know that there is a power somewhere so organized, so subtle, so watchful, so interlocked, complete, so pervasive that they had better not speak above their breath. When they speak in condemnation of it, they understand they will expire immediately. Yep. Well, yeah, pretty much. If you know anything that's going on with the U.S. government or its governments around the world, there's some technology some energy weapon that's basically taking regular, secret agents and basically giving them brain hemorrhages and killing them. I've heard about it, talked about a bunch of sci-fi channels recently, that there's some energy weapon used to basically kill members of the Secret Service and stuff. And they've been basically wanting to start a new initiative to go and study it, because it's basically killing their operatives. So there is such a thing out there that can easily kill these people, and it's being used on American, as well as, I wouldn't be surprised, Secret Service agents around the world. So you get the idea. That's what I know about that stuff. Do you think it's our government? Possibly, but also I wouldn't be surprised if the extraterrestrials or whatever is actually out there is not actually killing members of the Secret Service or these various spy organizations, because they find them to be problematic, and getting rid of them, as well as maybe the world leaders that are getting in the way as well, would be the most expedient way to basically change the plan. But this has just been there's just been that as well. There's another chat. The bulk of the black budget scientific knowledge is just too advanced to be translated. Most of people's primitive conceptual framework. I have my doubts about that. Just basically point to sci-fi. They'll get the concepts and the fact that a lot of this stuff will allow them, like spaceships and stuff like that, exist. They can understand that fact. But if you want them, and a lot of these people can also understand, or at least more technical, might be taught the technology, but they can do that as well. But as I said, there's a good chance there's the spies who are, or rather the members of the spy networks, like the FBI and stuff like that, are dying of this weird energy weapon. They could be dying because, the black budget is basically killing enough people they can't, the black budget, the secret government is killing enough members of our government they can't control, so they're just getting rid of them in mass. And they'll probably blame it on the aliens or extraterrestrials soon. Basically say that, yes, we're under attack by aliens and they're killing members of our government and they want to take over. So basically be worried about that as well. But then again, you have to understand that governments from around the world, I haven't heard anything about them. This seems to be an American phenomenon, but I wouldn't be surprised if secret agents from all over the world are suddenly basically dying. Or rather, members of their government, where they're basically dying in brain hemorrhages and stuff. Let's see. Here's another chat. In the black budget world, we know and understand death is a human construct. It does not exist. There are infinite numbers of universes, each with a different physical properties. There is that as well. Now, I think I'll get back to this article. And another apparent Middle East, like that, it's just the object then suddenly explodes into a bright flash of light and rain of debris. Although authorities later claimed that no debris could be found, and the facility made a statement that it was a natural phenomenon. The whole incident was captured and like that. Let's see. Actually, there's a surprising amount of such pieces of footage floating around allegedly showing UFO attacking the terrorists, attacking people and stuff like that. And it is sometimes difficult to ascertain the authenticity of such footage from the Middle East, from about them attacking terrorists and stuff, about them attacking terrorists. Former British Minister of Defense employee Nick Pope stated. British. All right, here's some more chats. Here's some more. Virtually all do not support life such as we know it. We exist in a universe that does support so-called life as you know it. Here's another one. Well, yeah, here's another chat from magnetic vortex resonance. You will experience and have experienced every instance of so-called life. You, me, him. We are instances of the same life separated by what we call death. Here's what this guy says about the attacks going on and stuff like that. Should I read it? After reading what we just read here, it seems a bit trite. Regardless of the skepticism, there are many who feel I feared the guy who was going to talk about this felt like he was going to be skeptical, who feel some of these strange videos are the real deal, and they have been hotly debated. Some feel as they straight out fakes with CGI merely cleverly superimposed over actual war footage. Others say that they show natural phenomenon. Others still think they may be top secret man-made aircraft in action. Then there are those who believe these videos show the real deal. Aliens attacking the Taliban, attacking the terrorists, and attacking the terrorists and ISIS. Are UFOs in the Middle East? ISIS, I still don't like that name. Let's just call them terrorists. Are UFOs in the Middle East on some sort of attack mission? Indeed, if any of this is true, then what would be their motives? It's probably our government. They sent out these experimental craft that we have, basically test them out in war theaters, in theaters of war, and test them out and basically use them to kill the terrorists. Basically to see how they do. Make no mistakes, folks. These people will, in the black budget and the black military, would use such technology against us. In fact, they already have, basically by promoting the fact that aliens are going around abducting people and experimenting on them. Make no mistake, that probably is what's happening, at least to some degree. But make no mistake either, that aliens probably aren't as good as people think they are either. I think a lot of them are, but there probably are bad ones as well. Just don't trust your government. And don't trust everything you see, because it could very well be fake. Or at least it could be real. It could be humans driving those ships, and they're basically been being used to basically promote this narrative that the government, that aliens are bad and that that we all need to gather together under one government and fight the aliens to keep our freedom. So make no mistakes, they would use that to basically take away our freedoms. This is true. Then let's get back to this article. Then what would be their motives for such a thing as to why would they be targeting these groups? Who knows? Such alleged UFO attacks are not confined. Here's some more chats. Magnetic vortex resonance. Inside the ET craft is real life, Alice in Wonderland stuff. Distinguishing what is real or imaginary is impossible. Perhaps everything is real, but while inside the ship, the atmosphere is like a drug-induced experience and difficult to differentiate between reality and imagery. The minute you step out of the craft, the mind goes back to normal. I don't know if it's dimensional shift or if it has something to do with the high magnetic energy on the ship that somehow alters or interferes with the electrical circuits in the human brain. It's a magnetic shift and stuff, or that interferes with the human brain. It's the fact that this thing is interdimensional, or at least some of this technology, and the fact that what we consider real and stable in our reality, in another reality, has different properties and stuff like that. What happens with these craft that are basically faster than light, or basically can be used to travel through to other universes, or even to other planets, or to even other universes? Basically, they do something to basically alter reality. And when you're inside the craft, you're subject to the fact of that altered reality. So Well, basically, yeah, you really are in a place that is very much like in a fantasy world, because the rules of our reality no longer apply. The only thing keeping us stable and basically coherent in those realities, in those ships, is because they've been adjusted so humans or organic life won't basically come apart and disintegrate. So yeah, if you feel like you're in a different dimension, that's because you are, because that allows the ship to basically travel to wherever it's going. I didn't know if it's a dimensional or it has something to do with that. Here's another chat. The ETs are garrisoned on this planet and on the moon, have bases in several countries in cooperation with those governments. There is that, but those might be the bad aliens and stuff like that. Or at least some of these aliens might be good. Some of them might be bad, because they certainly dislike some of the notions of us in cooperation with these aliens. At least for the fact that once one of our former presidents basically recently made a statement that says if aliens are real, that we should basically all worship them. That's another thing that I'm afraid that they'll try to promote, that we should worship these aliens, the whole human race. That's bull. If they're aliens, that means they're mortal. And just like men basically trying to say they're gods, they're mortal. I'm not worshiping them. I don't care how powerful. They're human. Now, if they're actually something other than mortal, well, then that could be just as bad or even worse, because they might be demons. Or at least something that interdimensional, which could be just as bad. They'd still be aliens if they're not demons, if they're from another universe. They'd just be interdimensional beings. Doesn't mean we should worship them either. If they are immortal, well, as you said, if they are immortal, I think that could point to the fact if they're demons or interdimensional beings, I think there's a good chance we are immortal ourselves, or at least our souls. So I think there is something about that could be used to be basically fight up back against such things. There's also the fact of there being alien life form out there, or alien life somewhere out there. Yeah, alien life out there that is actually good by our standards and would help us. Yeah, here's another chat. When you're dealing with these beings whose intellects is so far beyond our own, I don't think it's safe to assume that they have the best interests at heart. Translating communication from some species to human language is labor-intensive. Say it's analogous to translating quantum mechanics into grunts and screeches of a chimpanzee. Screeches. Okay, let me read this now. Regardless of their actual war footage, others say that they actually show phenomenon that others still think that may be top secret man-made aircraft in action. Yeah, there's that. There, that we were talking about how a lot of these spacecraft being used, or alien, or these UFOs attacking terrorists might actually be, craft that we ourselves are using to basically attack them, as we're basically testing these craft out. Then there are those who believe the videos show the real deal aliens attacking stuff like in the Middle East, some sort of attack mission. Indeed, if any of this is true, then what would their motives be of such a thing? Why would they be targeting those people? Such alleged UFO attacks are not confined to the exact faraway lands. There have been a few incidents. I can know why. Basically, our government's basically having these aliens go out and attack these terrorists. Basically, they want to see what the aliens are capable of, and if they're willing to kill people and stuff. I can see that much. Now let's hear. There have been a few incidents in recent years that seem to be attacks of some sort that have occurred in the United States as well. Perhaps the story that has gotten the most exposure recently was the failed launch of Spacex on SpaceX and stuff like that, on September 1st, 2016, in which the rockets inexplicably explode shortly before takeoff. Not long after, the disaster video footage that seems to show two bright lights passing by in the background shortly before the upper part of the rocket burst into flames. The footage has made heavy rounds in the news and on the internet, with some claiming that these UFOs had something to do with the explosion. Debate has raged ever since between those who think these flying saucers caused the incident and some sort of attack, and those who think the footage merely shows birds or some other mundane objects. In the meantime, SpaceX has been trying to get to the bottom of what really happened. You can see the controversial footage. And another incident in the United States. Oh, yeah, a few more chats. Here's another chat from Magnetic Vortex residents. TransLink, some of these are remnants of the ancient Arrow project. Yeah, I can see that some of these ships are probably some part of some kind of yeah, I can see that some of these craft that are being used out there that are basically being said to be UFOs are probably part of some project that the government has that is basically hidden and basically no one talks about because they want to keep it top secret. Yeah, I can see that as well. Another incident, United States, 2011, strange footage emerged, Fort Worth military base in Texas. Hundreds of people allegedly witnessed a series of strange lights before a sequence of odd explosions at the base. And many of these people reported that shortly before the explosions, they could see the bright lights driving over the base in what seemed like some sort of bombing run. By the way, folks, if you're wondering what I'm doing every time I stop from reading this article, I'm reading Magnetic Vortex's chats over here, and this has been fun and stuff. So we're going to finish off this article and have a little more. Here's another chat. The Ancient Arrow Project is a time capsule stored deep inside a canyon wall for over a millennium near Chicago Canyon in M. Okay, his capture stored in that. So some of the technology that we've used or that for these craft that we're currently using probably comes from this Ancient Arrow and stuff like that project in a time capsule stored deep inside a canyon wall, or is this the Ancient Arrow project something completely different from the craft we're using? You know, the alien craft that are allegedly attacking terrorists or basically attacking people and basically abducting them and stuff. Here's another chat from the creators of the time capsule referred to themselves as wing makers. They represented a future version of humanity who lived some 750 years in our future. Okay, that's interesting. All right, explosion. Let's get back to this article. A series of strange lights before a sequence of loud explosions at the base, and many of these people reported that shortly before the explosions, they could see the bright lights driving over the base in what seemed like some sort of bombing run. The objects were claimed to make no sound at all before the brightly colored explosions erupted in a massive light show that lit up the night sky and could be seen from miles away. During the eerie explosions, the mysterious bright lights were said to have hovered in the sky directly above the explosions, went on for around 30 minutes and knocked out the power grid, causing massive blackouts throughout the city. In video footage of the event, the strange diving lights reported by witnesses are shown right before the explosions and hovering in the sky during the event, which prompted speculation that it was some kind of alien attack. The official statement was that the explosions were caused when lightning struck some transformers, creating a power surge that caused... Oh, yeah. I think, yeah. I remember that big blue light that happened, right? That's what they said was caused by power transformer exploding, where it was just going into the sky like that. You know, from lightning striking it. I remember that story, which prompted speculation that it was some kind of alien attack. The explosion was caused when lightning power surges caused them to spontaneously explode. To basically go off. This theory has been shut down by those who feel that a UFO attack did indeed occur, and with one of such vocal internet users saying transformers do not continue to blow up one after another for 30 minutes. Doesn't anyone see what is going on here? Osmo's dead. Q. Alien invasion isn't clear just what is going on here, but the footage itself, yeah. Here's another chat. Magnetic Vortex Resonance. The project was formally brought under the jurisdiction of the Advanced Contact Intelligence Organization. Magnetic Vortex. The organization is a secret, unacknowledged part of the NSA. It is headquartered in Virginia, but also has personnel in Belgium, India, and Indonesia. It's interesting to hear about. Thank you. Man, that's very interesting. Spectacular explosion. Feel that, yeah. It is unclear just what is going on here itself. Whether it shows a real UFO tech or not is certainly impressive. I'm getting back to this article, folks. For the sheer awe-inspiring sight of the multicolored explosions themselves, you can see some of the footage here. The UFO phenomenon has taken some shapes and forms over the years, features some very dramatic accounts of all types. However, perhaps due to one of their most, that these accounts are very horrific, that aliens might actually not be the best people around, but that doesn't certainly mean that they are evil either. I'd say it's good and evil. Some of them are good, some of them are evil. Maybe these creatures here, there are creatures out there who want to help us. But then again, there's a lot of stuff that goes on that we have to basically keep an eye out for. Now, before we go on, let me read a bit more. I wanted to check out some UFO phenomenon when people get sick and tired. From a famous UFO case to a wild beast. We've had a lot of fun tonight, huh? Yeah, we talked about magnetic vortex resonance, who's basically brought up all this stuff that he has seen. And as I said, man, if you want to come in here, magnetic vortex resonance, I can leave a link and you can drop in and basically tell me about all this stuff yourself. I'd love to talk with you. But I said I would look at some more horror stories, UFO horror stories. So should I look at this one? 5 UFO movies you've never seen. UFO movies, Fit versus Best, Cannibal Mountains, Death in All the UK. I'm actually talking about real UFO stories here. Maybe I should try different sites. Maybe try this one. The Roswell incidents, extraterrestrial environmental. Have a blessed night. Thank you, Magnetic Vortex. Magnetic Vortex. Yeah, thank you. Let's see. I just want to read a bit more before I end this live stream. Just a little more. I wanted to. Why we have never returned to the moon. That's. Try this. Alien abduction process, a general overview. UFO aliens and celebrities. Still unexplained 1994 aerial spill UFO alien encounter. Mythology, folklore, UFOs and aliens. The secret space program's conspiracies. The great government alien cover-up. It's for your own good. Not really. UFO and alien encounters from Russia and the Soviet Union. I just want to take a quick look because I didn't want to end my stream. So, fucking family alien abduction. Mass alien abduction. Betty and Barney Hill abduction. Looked at that. Maybe Project Sigma and Conspiracy of the Greys. Digital Dark Side of the UFO and Alien Question. Ancient alien links to the Great Sphinx of Giza. And the connection of alien contact and sudden psychic ability. I'll take a quick look at this article just a little bit. Many close contact extraterrestrial encounters features psychic episodes. Many alien abductees, for example, speak of sudden visions of the future, telepathic ability, and temporary understanding of the universe. While these incidents are usually short-lived, happen only during the respective encounters, some experience appear to leave a lasting legacy of sudden psychic or mystical ability on the abductee. Why this happens and why it doesn't appear to happen to all abduction victims is open to debate. In 2012 study, Kathleen Maiden, and others, they both experienced UFO researchers, abduction investigators. The connections between psychic or paranormal ability and alien contact were interesting to say the least. Okay, there's that. Although they would only study 75 cases, the indications are that some kind of newer increased psychic ability takes place. Of those in the study would report increased paranormal activity in their homes following such incidents, with just over indicating that paranormal activity has not happened before their encounters. 79% would also indicate a new psychic ability that they were not aware of before. It would all appear, though such a small test can never produce a conclusive result, there is a link to be investigated between exclusive extraterrestrial contact and paranormal, specifically psychic encounters. Simon from Leeds Abduction goes back to when he was to way back in his youth. The case of Simon Lee from Leeds is one of the most fascinating of the alien abduction cases, and not merely due to the psychic premonitions that came to him. Okay, it gave him psychic premonitions. I just wanted to I guess I could read a bit more. That came to him in a case that appears to be what UFO authors claim hybridization program to create human aliens and stuff. It appears Simon's abduction experience goes back to his early childhood. In fact, according to Simon himself, his first memories from his 18 months old 1970. He claims to distinctly remember floating above his cot, spinning around and around in the air upon his father entering the room. He fell back to the mattress below. If this is indeed an authentic memory, then it would be unique that a person can now remember that far back into their lives. Okay, so the aliens did such things to him, and they basically leaving him with some psychic ability. I just wanted to take a quick look at it because I wanted to end my live stream on with something we can look forward to. Well, on a better note than what we've looked at so far. Okay, so we have that. We talked about aliens and horror stories, how people have basically reacted badly to these things, about how these creatures can actually not be the best creatures around, or rather not have our best interests and stuff like that. But we also talked about how they could also be good as well. At least I said they can be good. I'm going to thank you all for joining me for tonight's live stream. Please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Yeah, please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Read comics that are bad for you. Hit that like button because it helps me fight the algorithm, okay? As well as leave some comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. Let's see. Hit that bell and hit the part of the bell that gives you all future notifications. As well as, let's see. Please share this video on Twitter and Facebook. Also, please go over to Stitch Together Pics. Stitch Together Pics is a YouTube channel that deserves far more subscribers. It has a great host who plays this character with multiple personality disorder. You're going to laugh at his reviews of movies. That's Stitch Together Pics. As well as go over and subscribe to Creepy Little Book. Creepy Little Book is like the Art Bell radio show. He talks about aliens and ghosts. He releases small videos talking about high strangeness, but he also does live streams every night. He live streams on weekdays at 12:30 a.m. and on weekends at 10 o'clock p.m. He talks about aliens and ghosts, and you'll learn so much from his live streams. Right? Remember, folks, go over to rumble.com and subscribe to my Rumble channel. It is named Comic Freak. As well as go over to BitChute and subscribe to my BitChute channel. It is also named Comic Freak. Remember, folks, I'll be back again tomorrow around 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, 8 or 11 for another live stream. So be sure to come back again then. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all.